This first sheet here is the list of our field offices in South Dakota. You can find this information also on our website. We have 3 field offices in the Black Hills, one in Lead. It's actually co-located with the Lead Fire Department, and our Division of Wildland Fire Suppression is also there. We have a field office in Hot Springs, located on University Avenue. It's also co-located with our Division of Wildland Fire Suppression, and we have an office in Rapid City, which is the site of the old Game Fish and Parks Regional Office. If you're familiar with Rapid City, it's just to the north of Susan Hospital is where our location is. Okay, so this is where you can, if you want to talk to one of our state forestry people, Parks Brigman is in Lead, Dave Heddick is in Hot Springs, and I'm in Rapid City along with Brian Garbish and Marcus Warnke. We all are service foresters, write forest stewardship plans for private forest landowners. There is no cost to the landowner for this to be done. About the only thing there is we do have a lot of demands placed on our services, so you may have to wait a while, okay, in order to get that stewardship plan written for you. You do have a number of different alternatives, though. We have a cost share program available. That's this document here, cost share assistance available for forest stewardship plan development. We'll pay 50% of the cost of if you want to hire a consultant to write that plan for you. This other document, South Dakota Register of Private Professional Foresters, is a list of foresters who have indicated that they're willing to provide services to people in South Dakota. On the front side is consulting foresters, and on the back side is a list of industry foresters in the Black Hills area. Some of these folks you may know from other associations or meetings or things like that, but a lot of these folks are willing to write these forest stewardship plans for you, or to meet with you to discuss the plans that you already have written, to do updates on those plans, to help you implement the different practices that you've identified in those plans that you might want to do on your property, can help you find contractors, and can help you administer contracts with these folks. A lot of the consulting foresters, obviously they're trying to make a living. It's a fee-based service, but as I indicated, like at least for the development of a stewardship plan, there is cost share available. There's also another option for getting a stewardship plan written. Peter's been talking quite a bit about the tree farm program, and South Dakota does have a tree farm program. And they will also provide a cost share. In fact, they provide a 75% cost share for writing a preparation of a forest stewardship plan. The one caveat that goes with that is they do want you to become a certified tree farmer, okay? That isn't required to go with the state's cost share program for the 50% cost share, but if you want to get involved in the tree farm program and get their 75% cost share, you are expected to join the tree farm program. Bill?
Great. The way that cost share goes, it's $1,000 up to the, if you have a minimum of 70 acres, it's $1,000. And then it's a dollar an acre up to the next $500. So the max you can get is $1,500 per plant.
Okay. Okay. Is it still based on the 75% though, or is it a flat rate?
It's $1,000 for the first 70 acres.
Okay.
Which is pretty considerable. And then for every acre after that up to 500, then you can get $500. Okay. So your max will be $1,500 if you have the minimum acreage.
Yep. And I think the minimum acreage for tree farms is 10 acres, right? 10
contiguous conifer acres.
Okay. 10 contiguous acres. Okay. So you do have alternatives for getting a plan written in South Dakota. You can go to state forestry. You can hire a consultant. go to industry foresters. You really have a pretty broad range of options in South Dakota for getting plans written. Now, in Wyoming, the state forestry agencies write plans. Do you have consultants in Wyoming, or I know some of the industry foresters also work in Wyoming, so they can provide that service in Wyoming as well. But
yeah, we obviously industry foresters work in Wyoming too. There are private consultants. I don't have a list, fewer than in South Dakota, but our foresters are happy to work with private landowners and do plan preparation.
yep, the consulting foresters in South Dakota are, they've all been around, been practicing forestry for a long time. Quite a few of them are actually retired Forest Service foresters. So they've been around for quite a while and are very experienced and really know what they're doing. So I would encourage anybody to go with those folks, as well as industry and the state forestry folks. This sheet here is a short description of the Forest Stewardship Program in South Dakota. As I indicated before, all this stuff is posted on our website. You can read through this, find out a little bit about why people should be managing their forest lands. Since mountain pine beetles are on everybody's mind, I brought along a reference to our website, beatthebeetles.com, where you can find out information about mountain pine beetle. Another document, this is mountain pine beetles and the conservation programs in the 2008 Farm Bill. The NRCS also provides some cost share programs for thinning, for doing work regarding mountain pine beetle, and this is a little fact sheet that talks about that. So you can read through that and find out what the NRCS offers. A couple of other agencies that provide, one other group that provides some cost share for thinning is the conservation districts. The South Dakota Conservation Commission has been supportive of providing funding for doing non-commercial thinning on private lands. They've provided a grant to the Lawrence Conservation District. So, if you're interested in getting some funds for doing some non-commercial type of thinning, one place you could go is to the NRCS office. Another place is to the Lawrence Conservation District office. I believe some of the other conservation districts are going to be looking for, have applied for grants, but I haven't heard whether or not they've obtained any money yet. So, but those are a couple of opportunities for doing non-commercial thinning on your property. I think that's pretty much the group of information that I've passed out to you. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? I know a lot of forms and papers for you to take a look at, a lot of information to digest there, but I just wanted to kind of introduce it to it, and you can read it at your leisure. But certainly if anybody has any questions, Bill?
One other thing I was going to mention, it goes along with what Peter's talking about. If you get on the American Tree Farm website, they've got a wonderful website to get on. They have if you Google My Land Plan, it's a good place to start for just getting initiated into putting your own forest plan together. It's a really good deal.
Yeah, they've got an excellent template based on the Montana model, an excellent template that you can look through, and they have a lot of different websites that you can go to obtain information as well. I did want to mention too, I'm glad you brought that up, I did want to mention too that the tree farm system is the only certification system that we have here in South Dakota. I know on that slide that Peter showed you briefly, there was a whole bunch of them listed. There's like Pan-European certification, there's Forest Stewardship Council certification, Sustainable Forestry Initiative, and there's a Green Tag from the National Woodland Owners Association, but the only one that's established here in South Dakota is the American Tree Farm System, and it's been here since 1950s.
Yeah, Homestake Forest Products is the first.
Yeah, they were the first one. I think that was,
1952.
yeah, that was back in the 50s. So Tree Farm's been here for a long time. They're well established. I think we have about 85 to 90 tree farms in South Dakota. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bill's been on the tree farm committee for a long time. I was on it.
It's 200 if you.
Oh, it's 200, okay.
If you include all the wood, or the shelter belts.
Shelter belts. So it's about 85 to 90 woodland tree farms. And most of those are here in the Black Hills, but we have a few that are out in the eastern part of the state and some of our native woodlands that are, well, there's some over in Gregory County and some other parts of the state where we have some of our native hardwoods.
Realistically, Tree Farm and FSC are the only certification regimes that are broadly available to private landowners. And FSC is usually only interested in bigger splashes. You know, so they approach a lot of the reservations, they've approached some of the states, and really they're not set up to deal with smaller acreage landowners, and it's prohibitively expensive for smaller acreage landowners.
It's very expensive, whereas Tree Farm is, you know, well, free. I mean, geez, how can you get a better deal than that? You know, other than the time that you have to commit to, you know, doing the paperwork and doing management work on your property. Being a good steward is basically what it boils down to. So with that, unless anybody's got any other questions, and I should mention too that most of our industry foresters are certified tree farm inspectors. All of our state foresters are certified tree farm inspectors, and some of our consulting foresters are certified tree farm inspectors. So if you're interested in tree farm, you know, contact State Forestry or the industry folks that are on that list, or, you know, contact your favorite consulting forester and ask him why he's not if he isn't a certified tree farm inspector, ask him why not.
So, don't be scared by the name. Tree farm is really a misnomer. That's why they also go by family forestry. You know, so a lot of people thought, well, no, I'm not going to plant rows of trees. You know, that has nothing to do with the program.
A lot of people think when they think of a tree farm or any kind of a farm, they're thinking row crops. And while it's true, you get down to the southeast part of the country where they have plantation forestry, they actually grow trees in rows, just like corn. And they have much faster rotation. You know, they're on about a 30-year rotation down there, and they actually harvest the pine needles off the forest floor because they use that for landscaping. Very, very intensively managed tree farms. But tree farms are also natural native forests. And in fact, that's the majority of the tree farms in the country are natural native forests that people are managing to accomplish their own personal objectives, whether that's forest health, fire protection, wildlife habitat improvement, water quality, you know, the whole list of different reasons why people buy forest land.